Motor Antigo refers to old or antique engines preserved as mechanical heritage. These engines, often several decades old, represent early industrial and automotive development. Unlike modern engines with electronics, antique motors were built on simple, durable mechanical principles, focusing on ease of maintenance and versatility. They powered automobiles, farm machines, boats, and stationary equipment running on gasoline or diesel with single or multiple cylinders. Though modest in horsepower, they reliably handled daily transport and heavy tasks, featuring cast iron parts, exposed flywheels, and manual starting like crankcases. Today, motores antigos are valued by collectors and museums as cultural and technical artifacts. When running, their rhythmic sounds and visible mechanics offer a unique experience unlike modern, silent engines. More than old machines, motores antigos symbolize early engineering ingenuity, the resilience of past generations, and the foundation of today's powerful engines. The 1945 Wolseley engine refers to a vintage British automobile engine produced shortly after World War II. Wolseley, founded in 1901, was a respected UK car maker known for its reliable and elegant vehicles. The year 1945 marked the company's return to civilian car production after years focused on military manufacturing. A standout model from that year was the Wolseley 8 horsepower, a deluxe version of the popular Morris 8. It featured refined styling and an improved overhead valve engine, offering smoother performance and better efficiency than the more common side valve engines of the time. Rated at 8 horsepower for tax purposes, the engine provided sufficient power for city driving and moderate travel. The car's design emphasized durability and practicality, reflecting post-war austerity while maintaining Wolseley's standard of quality. Today, surviving 1945 Wolseley models are considered valuable historical artifacts, representing both British engineering resilience and the legacy of a distinguished automaker. The 5-horsepower Frisco Standard Marine engine, built around 1915 in San Francisco by the Standard Gas Engine Company, is a notable example of early American marine engineering. Designed for small fishing vessels, workboats, and especially gillnet boats on the Columbia River, it provided reliable propulsion during demanding salmon fishing seasons. Though modestly rated at 5 horsepower, the engine was known for its durability, simple operation, and ease of maintenance. Its flywheel-driven design delivered consistent power, and its compact size made it ideal for small holes without sacrificing space. What sets this engine apart is its original condition, retaining its factory paint and patina, a rare feature that speaks to its long, continuous service. Having worked aboard a Columbia River gillnet boat, it carries a deep maritime legacy tied to the hard-working fishermen of the Pacific Northwest. Today, preserved examples are highly prized by collectors as both mechanical artifacts and cultural symbols of an era when river life and fishing shaped the region's identity.
Hvad har den? Er det en skibsmotor, eller hvad?
Nej, den har stået stationært. Den historie, vi har på den, er, at den har stået på Grønland som hjælpemotor i forbindelse med noget køleværk op. Vi ved ikke mere om den. Men altså typisk som en stationær motor på grund af det der. Noget med det der store svinghjul og sådan nogle ting. Men Tucson byggede dem også som skibsmotorer. Og når vi nu får den i gang, og I kommer ud og hører lyden udenfor, så er det som fiskerihavn i gamle dage.
Hvad er forskellen på skibsmotorversionen og så den stationære her?
Den stationære, den har en meget større svinghjul. Det er for at give noget mere fylde og en mere rolig gang. Og en skibsmotor har ikke så stort et hjul, men med nogle flere kilo i. Og det er for at få selve midten eller vægten af motoren så langt ned i skibet som muligt. Det er forskellen.
a massive single-cylinder machine with a 67-liter displacement. Producing around 80 horsepower, its size and durability made it a reliable energy source for decades. It uses compressed air starting, a common method for large engines of its own, ensuring smooth ignition. This engine powered Alborg's power station and later a sawmill at Deutz. Operating until 1971, it played a key role in the local industrial development, delivering steady power under hidden workloads. Now preserved at the Dance Motor Log Masking Center in New Jersey and Indiana, the largest historic engine collection in Northern Europe with over 450 machines. This engine is both a rare engineering marvel and a symbol of Denmark's industrial heritage, preserved for future generations to admire.
Bygget i Holland,
Hvad er det for en motor?
og den hedder en industri.
Altså simpelthen som firmabetegnelse.
Firmabetegnelse industri, og trykker man på internettet, så er industri E. Man skal have E. Så skal man åbne på noget brændstoffolie. Det er den traditionelle, man glemmer på videre.
Og hvad er det der?
Man åbner på et startlås. Det er lås, som driver motoren i gang, og så sker arbejdsræk i håndværk. Det er
diesel engine is a notable example of early stationary power technology by Crossley Brothers Limited. Built as oil-fueled, water-cooled, four-stroke machines, these engines were designed for durability and long service life. A famous example is the 1923 Burt engine in Australia, with a massive 6-ton flywheel, 2 cylinders, and significant horsepower. Crossley produced models ranging from 6 to over 300 horsepower, used for electricity generation and water pumping in remote industrial areas. Engines like these powered silicon cells, case dispatches, for technical reasons, Crossley engines market for transition from standard to diesel power. Many still operate today. Industrial workforces and the solar life cycles. The Deutz diesel 1000 PS engine, compared to the Siemens 890 offers a powerful energy solution for large-scale applications. Engineered in Germany, the Deutz engine delivers 1000 horsepower with exceptional durability, efficiency, and consistent performance under tough conditions. Combined with the Siemens generator, they provide stable electricity for industrial sites, grid use, and backup systems. This pairing ensures low downtime, long service life, and trusted operation, making it ideal for heavy industry and critical infrastructure. The Deutz gas engine of 1880, known as the A-Zwilling-Schieber motor, marks a key milestone in the development of early stationary power. Built by Germany's Deutz company, this twin-cylinder engine used a slide valve Schieber system for gas distribution, a sophisticated design for its time. Designed to run on town gas or similar fuels, it was part of Deutz's move toward cleaner, more compact alternatives to steam power. Intended for stationary use, it powered industrial equipment, pumps, sawmills, and small generators, vital in an era when mechanical power was central to production. Unlike steam engines, it didn't need large boilers or constant water supply, making it a practical and efficient solution. The engine's twin-cylinder layout reduced vibration and ensured smoother operation than single-cylinder units. It featured water cooling to enable long, continuous use, and its slide valve system allowed precise fuel-air control for better efficiency. This engine reflects the legacy of Nicholas Otto, whose invention of the four-stroke cycle in 1876 revolutionized internal combustion. The A-Zwilling represents one of the first successful implementations of Otto's principles. Today, surviving units are preserved as antiques, standing as monuments to the innovation of how it works industrial growth and laying the groundwork for modern technology.
This was the best scene in the video. Ja, ja.
The Moto Rat Motor Diesel combines the rugged style of a rat bike with the durability of a diesel engine. Rat bikes are known for their raw, weathered look, built from mismatched parts and simple modifications that prioritize function over appearance. Despite their rough look, they're always kept running, symbolizing resilience and creativity. Using a diesel engine, rare in motorcycles, adds uniqueness, offering fuel efficiency, torque, and longevity. This practical power point makes the bike stand out from typical models. The German Summer Diesel 462, with its Hatz diesel engine, exemplifies diesel motorcycles. A Moto Rat Motor Diesel would adopt this power source, but embrace the rat bike's improvised utilitarian style, with exposed welding and a weathered finish, blending individuality, engineering skill, and everyday use. Ultimately, this motorcycle values personality,